なる夜、素敵で無敵な奇跡の一瞬。ラ・グラスティーユ・ノエル。シャンシャンシャン、シャンシャンシャン。シャンシャンシャン、シャンシャンシャン。
What is up, guys? Stark here. As you guys can see from the intro to this video, in today's character spotlight we are taking a look at Joan of Arc, Alter Santa Lily. Now she is going to be the 4-star welfare servant that is going to be coming out in the next event, which by the time this video is uploaded on YouTube, it should be out. I did purposely wait a few extra days to upload this video to coincide with the release of the new event. And I also did put her Noble Phantasm at the beginning of the video as opposed to the end of the video to kind of have something of an intro into the video. If you guys like it more, let me know. If you guys want me to change it back to the old way, you know, let me know as well. But as I said, she is a 4-star servant and she is going to be a Lancer class servant, so that is going to be the first Lancer welfare servant in the game, and she is a pretty good servant as well. Her maximum stats will be 11,870 HP and 9,261 attack. You can grill her out and it'll increase the attack and HP up to 14,392 HP and 11,213 attack. Her star weight is 92, her star gain is 12.1%, and her Noble Phantasm generation on her attack is 0.72% and on defense is 4%. So Santa Lily is a very good character, especially for a 4-star welfare servant, and she has a very good set of skills. The first one here is going to be the Saint's Gift C. This will recover one ally's HP and it will also increase their critical star generation by 30% for 3 turns. So this is a very good support skill, unlike the original Alter or Jalter version of this character. That character is based more around attacking. Obviously she's an Avenger, so she's going to be focused on that. The Lancer version is going to be more of a support-oriented servant. However, she does have the ability to do quite a bit of damage, and she is very useful for farming. As for the healing here, you're going to be able to heal 3,000 HP at level 10 on a 5-turn charge time at maximum level. And again, you get that 30% to your critical star generation for 3 turns, which is a very, very good skill. So moving on here to her second skill is going to be the Self-Reform A. This will charge her own Noble Phantasm gauge by 20%, and it will also increase her own debuff resistance for 3 turns. So this will go up to 50% at level 10 for the debuff resistance, and it'll also be on a 5-turn charge time at maximum level. But you do also get 20% of your Noble Phantasm gauge filled, which is kind of how she factors into the farming servant equation. So she does have an AoE Noble Phantasm, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. But being able to self-charge your own Noble Phantasm gauge definitely puts you into the conversation of farming, and especially with an AoE Noble Phantasm. So all you really need to do is have some sort of craft essence or other servants to supplement the rest of that. Usually in most cases is going to be Kaleidoscope to have the 80% charge to your Noble Phantasm gauge. You can use her second skill and then just fire off your Noble Phantasm instantly. You know, that's always a really good option. It does a lot of damage too, but again, we'll talk about her Noble Phantasm in just a little bit. Her third skill though is going to be the Ephemeral Dream EX. Now this is actually a better version of the skill that Jalter originally has. But what it does is it's going to increase her own Buster card performance for 1 turn. It'll grant her self-invincibility for 1 turn. However, it will also deal 1200 damage to herself. So this is exactly the same as Jalter's skill, except instead of being a 50% increase to Buster card performance at level 10, it is going to be a 55% increase, and is also on a 6-turn charge time at maximum level. You still get the invincibility. You do 200 more damage to yourself as opposed to Jalter only dealing 1,000. You do 1,200, but you are getting that extra 5% in damage for your Buster card performance. So it about evens out, and you know, you do have a healing skill which you can use on yourself if you need to, and that'll help recover some of your HP from this skill. You also do have that, you know, self-invincibility. Use that to, you know, ignore Noble Phantasms or any sort of attacks. And you know, she's got good survivability there for that as well. And overall, like I just said it like 2 seconds ago, but she has a very good skill set. Moving on to her passives now, she's only going to have one, and that is going to be the Magic Resistance A+, which will increase her debuff resistance by 21%. So moving on to her Ascension, As she is an event servant, she's going to have an event exclusive item, which is going to be the Jildariah's doll, and you're going to need 4 of those to max her out. You'll be able to get them by playing the event, so make sure you go ahead and max out this character. She's very good. All welfare servants are really good, and they don't come back very often, so that's why I timed this video up with the release of the event. You know, you guys should be seeing this relatively early on in the event, so just go ahead and play through the event. Most of the events you can clear with just natural stamina. Maybe you won't be able to clear out the shop, but you should definitely be able to get the character, all of the event items, and max out that character to its full ascension before the event ends. As for her skill enhancements, you're going to need 14 Gems of the Lancer, 14 Magic Gems of Lancer, 14 Secret Gems of Lancer, 12 Shells of Reminiscence, 15 Seeds of Futuresil, 12 Warhorse's Young Horns, 8 Spirit Roots, 1 Crystallized Lore, and 27,200,000 Quantum Pieces. So now for her command card deck and her Noble Phantasm. She does have 2 quick cards, 1 arts card, and 2 buster cards. And the hit counts are going to be 3 for the quick, 3 for the arts, 1 for the buster, and 5 on her extra attack. So she does have a very balanced deck. Unfortunately, she only has 1 arts card, which is pretty typical for Lancers, but it does kind of hinder her Noble Phantasm generation a little bit. You know, you can't make arts chains, so you're going to have to rely on other sources to get your Noble Phantasm gauge filled. And her Noble Phantasm is a buster card that will deal damage to all enemies, as I've previously said. I will also reduce the debuff resistance by 10% for 1 turn, and on the overcharge it has 2 separate effects, and the first one is going to increase party's attack for 1 turn, and the second one is going to increase party's healing received for 1 turn. So this is a good Noble Phantasm that's going to do a lot of damage, but the overcharge effects are really weird. Like, they only last for 1 turn, and that means you'll have to use them, like, take effect on the turn you use Noble Phantasm. So you're going to have to capitalize on that. So the attack bonus, you know, no one else is going to really make good use of that, because you'll have to be attacking with them, and ideally you want to use like chains, like brave chains and stuff like that. So not all your team is going to be able to take maximum effect of this. The same thing with the healing. You're going to have to use this Noble Phantasm first, and then use like someone has a healing Noble Phantasm after it in order to make use of it, really. So it's like you can't use skills, because once the turn ends, then the effect will go away. So you have to use a character that could heal on their Noble Phantasm in order to get any sort of use out of that overcharge effect. And I mean, yeah, it's a welfare servant, so you'll be able to overcharge it relatively easily, but still, it's just an awkward thing to throw in there. Now, there certainly are characters that could benefit from that effect on the Noble Phantasm, such as Nightingale. She's definitely one of the first options that comes to mind as far as being able to combo with the Noble Phantasm, because she can heal on her Noble Phantasm, and she's also really good to pair with Santa Lily because of her skill sets as well. She's going to be able to increase the buster card effectiveness of Santa Lily, so you know, you get a whole lot out of comboing them together. So it's definitely a good option. You know, Merlin is also a decent option as well. I mean, Merlin's amazing for everything, but as far as comboing with her Noble Phantasm, he's good as well. He can heal, so you know, you want to do that. I mean, obviously Merlin's not out yet, but he's close enough so I can kind of start talking about him. So now moving on to some of the craft essences you can use. First up is going to be her maximum bond craft essence, which is going to be the door to the sea. So while equipped, this will increase HP recovery amount of all of your allies by 30% while on the field. So this is a good one to use if you're going to go more towards the healing route. But ideally, you're probably not going to want to go that route. You're going to focus more on damage and farming with this character. So you could go ahead and throw on the Black Grail, which will increase the Noble Phantasm damage by 60%. You know, if you're going to use it for a Noble Phantasm, then you might as well get the most damage out of it, especially if you're farming. So this is going to be a good option to use. If you do use the Black Grail, though, you're going to need to have other ways of getting her Noble Phantasm generated up to 100%, because she can only get 20% by herself, and if you're going to be using her for farming, then you're going to have to find some other way of doing that. If you want to use her exclusively for farming and not worry too much about the damage, then you can go on and throw Kaleidoscope, which I talked about earlier on in the video. You get her 20% plus the 80% from Kaleidoscope, and you know, you're good right there. You could also throw on the Golden Sumo Boulder Tournament, which will increase her attack by 10%, and it will also let her start the battle with 30% of her gauge filled. So you'll have 30% from this, 20% from her skills, and then you only have to find 50% somewhere else, and you know, you could go ahead and just throw Waver on that team, and you have a 100% Noble Phantasm gauge. So now moving on to her star rankings. First up, for her stats, she's going to get 4.2 stars. You know, she is a 4-star servant. She has a little bit of some of the lower stats, or for 4 stars anyway. I don't think I actually said her ranks. So she ranks 51 overall in HP and 60th overall in attack. So, you know, it's about average for a 4-star servant. A little bit better than average, I guess. For her skills, though, she's going to get 4.5 stars. Her skill set is very good. It is comparable to her 5-star version. In some cases, like her 3rd skill is actually better than her 5-star version. And the first skill, being able to increase or being able to support herself with healing, definitely means this character will survive a lot longer. You do lose a little bit of the attack bonuses and stuff because she only has that 1 skill, as opposed to Jolter that has effectively 3 attack bonus skills. But, you know, for this character, this type of character, it definitely complements her with the skill set she has, and it deserves its high ranking. For her Noble Phantasm, she's going to get 4 stars in this. It's very effective for farming. It does a lot of damage. The only reason why it doesn't get a higher ranking is just because the overcharge effects are really questionable. And yeah, you can take advantage of it in some situations. You kind of have to go out of your way to do those, and I just kind of wish it had some sort of better effect, or if the effects lasted 2 turns, that would be phenomenal, but that would be much better in my opinion. For her survivability, I'm going to give her 4.5 stars. She does have that first skill that heals, as I previously stated, and her 3rd skill grants her invincibility, so you can use that to tank Noble Phantasms or other sorts of attacks, allowing her to survive just a little bit longer than she normally would. And then her versatility will also give her 4 stars. She's very good at farming. She's very useful as a Lancer and an AoE Lancer. She is a welfare servant, so she's going to find her way onto a lot of teams because you can get her to Noble Phantasm level 5 very easily. And that will give her overall ranking a 4.2 out of 5. She's a very solid servant. If you don't have a Lancer, she's definitely a must get. You know, she's an AoE Lancer, so if you're like a free-to-play person, you might not have too many Lancers. You probably have Ku maxed out, but he's only a single target Lancer, so you can have him as a single target, Santa Lily as an AoE target, and you're good to go. So there's really only one servant that I want to talk about that I haven't really talked about, and that is going to be Drake, or you could also substitute Drake for Iskander. They're effectively the same character for the purposes of comboing with her. They both increase Noble Phantasm damage, they both increase the attack of Santa Lily, so you're going to be getting a huge bonus to your attacks. She kind of lacks in damage outside of her Noble Phantasm, so these 2 characters will definitely help, you know, sustain her damage just a little bit better. They are also both riders, so you'll be able to take use of the first skill from Santa Lily, being able to increase critical star generation. You know, you'll generate the stars, and then Drake or Iskander will absorb those stars, increasing their critical damage, critical potential, all that fun stuff. And they're both AoEs as well. Both have Buster AoE Noble Phantasms, so you could potentially combo them together for Buster Chains. And you know, it's a pretty good combination. I think either one of those will be a very good option to use on your team. So yeah guys, that's going to wrap up this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have links in the description to Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, all that fun stuff. Obviously, because I showed you the Noble Phantasm in the beginning of the video, I will not show it again. But I will say that I will be doing Ishtar's character spotlight next. I might not do it next week. I might do it earlier because Ishtar will be coming very soon. Or I guess she would have already been out by the time this video is posted. I will be pulling for Ishtar. I will be getting Ishtar. And hopefully it doesn't cost me too much money. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a video where I pull and hopefully not get destroyed. And yeah, Ishtar Spotlight is next. I think that's about all I have to say. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.